Jai Radha Madhava. We're talking about Radha and Madhava. And if you look closely, you'll see a wonderful loving glance there that Krishna is giving to Radharani. Good to remember what we're chanting about. Can everyone see? Look at Krishna's glance to Radharani. Isn't that sweet? It's amazing. Come here, look. I mean, really. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjali Hari. 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 Krishna's giving most amazing pleasure to all souls. Vijana
What's the verse? 22? Okay. 2, right? So, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 12, Text 22. Yasya Bhakti Bhagavati Hara Nishriyesware Vikridato Britamboda Kim Shudre Katakoda Ke Yasya Bhakti Bhagavati Haro Nishriyasesware Vikridato Mritamboda Kim Sudre Katakodake Yasya of whom Bhakti devotional service Bhagavati to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hara, Lord Hari. Nishreya, Yasa Ishware, the controller of the supreme perfection of life, or supreme liberation. Vikridataha, swimming or playing. Amrita, Ambodo, in the ocean of nectar. Kim, what is the use? Shudre, with small. Kataka Odake, dishes of water. Translation and purport. By His divine grace, His confound Acharya. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A person fixed in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord, Hari, the Lord of the highest auspiciousness, swims in the ocean of nectar. For him, what is the use of the water in small ditches? Please kindly respond and repeat. A person fixed in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord, Hari, the Lord of the highest auspiciousness, swims in the ocean of nectar. For him, what is the use of the water in small ditches? So, purport. Vritrasura has formally prayed. Bhagavatam 6:11-25. Nanaka pristam na sha paramestiam nasarva bhomam narasa deepa tyam I do not want the facilities for happiness on Brahmaloka, Swagaloka, or even Dhruvaloka, not to speak of the earth or the lower planets. I simply want to return home back to Godhead. Unquote. This is the determination of a pure devotee. A pure devotee is never attracted to any exalted position within this material world. He simply wants to associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like the inhabitants of Vrindavan. He simply wants to associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like the inhabitants of Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani, the gopis, Krishna's father and mother, Nanda and Yashoda, Krishna's friends and Krishna's servants. He wants to associate with Krishna's atmosphere of Vrindavan's beauty. These are the highest ambitions of the devotee of Krishna. Devotees of Lord Krishna may aspire for a position in Vaikuntha Loka, but a devotee of Krishna never aspires even for the facilities of Vaikuntha. He wants to return to Goloka Vrindavan. I repeat, devotees of Lord Vishnu may aspire for a position in Vaikuntha, but a devotee of Krishna never aspires even for the facilities of Vaikuntha. He wants to return to Goloka Vrindavan and associate with Lord Krishna in his eternal pastimes. Any material happiness is like water in a dish, whereas the spiritual happiness internally enjoyed in the spiritual world is like an ocean of nectar, which a devotee wants to swim. Om Gyana Timirandasya, Gyana Jana Salakaya, Sakshurum Militam, Jena Tismai, Siya Gurve Namaha, Suchetayam Anobistam, Stafitam, Jena Bhutale, Swayam Rupam, Kadamayam, Dadati Swa Padantika. Vanchakal Patari Byacha, Kripasunubya Evacha, Patitana Pavanabhi, Vaishnavibhyo Namo. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale, Semata Bhakti Vedanta Swami Itinam, Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Picharini, and every says the swing of body Pachatya Disatara. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadara, Sri Vasadi, Sri Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yasya Bhakti Bhagavati, Haro Nishriya Seshwari, Vikridato Mritam Bodho, Kim Shudre, Kata Kodake. A person fixed in devotional service of the Supreme Lord, Hari, the Lord of the highest auspiciousness, swims in the ocean of nectar. For him, what is the use of the water in small ditches? So, this is the very essence of our devotional practice. A number of devotees have been practicing Krishna consciousness for decades. But what's the essence of this devotional practice? Essentially, we're looking for happiness. There's nothing wrong in looking for happiness, but to look for happiness in a place where you really wouldn't get happiness, that's a serious pathology. It's like you are in the forest. You're in the desert, and you're desiring to get some water to drink, but you choose to go to the desert. Any mental health practitioner will automatically know you have a serious case of pathology. And so, by dint of our search for happiness in this material world, we are actually we have a pathological state of consciousness. We have a pathological state of consciousness. We might not be diagnosed by any mental health practitioner that we do have this problem, but we should know we have this problem. We are looking for happiness in the wrong place. Now, although that mistake has been made, here is an opportunity for us to understand how to really search for that eternal happiness. The happiness that will keep quadruplicating in any moment that we make some little attempt to get into that, to tap into that ocean of happiness. Just a little attempt. Because Krishna basically is more desirous for us to come and associate with him than our own desire to be with him. And therefore, it's just like the professor who just, by dint of your participation in the class, you have some marks. You don't wait until the exam. That mark adds to your real final exam just by participating in the class. So if a professor has that type of compassion, that type of, academic support for the student, and sometimes some students, they just think that the professors are very cruel, wicked people. They want to fail the students. But why are they doing this? That they will give all some marks just by being present in the class. It's just to compensate for our interest. If we show some interest in someone, we show some love for somebody, they want to do to us more than whatever we can think of. And so, devotional service creates a forum where we can participate in the class of Lord Krishna, and Krishna gives us some marks ahead of time, just ahead of time. So each time we come to the class, or each time we do our japa, we are adding marks to our whole devotional ranking. And therefore, sometimes it looks like a play. You find in the Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that every day we should not, without a fail, we should engage in hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Just by hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, it negates all of our sinful, practically, almost entirely, virtually all of our sinful reactions or sinful desires. Just so, look at it. So it's a similar case what the professors do. They're adding up marks. But here it is clearly defined, right from the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's clearly defined, it's stipulated, that when we participate in this class of the Srimad Bhagavatam, our sinful desires are becoming nullified. And if our sinful desires are becoming nullified, then, to attain that highest goal becomes so easy. Because what is really distracting us from attaining Krishna consciousness is that we have multiplicities of desires. And these are creating so much of distractions. So in this text, a reflection, Prabhupada makes a reference to the very statement made earlier by Vritrasura. Vritrasura was a great devotee of the Lord. But he committed some offense. One day he came into the assembly and he saw Lord Shiva, he saw Parvati in the arms of Lord Shiva. And he just thought, he couldn't contain himself. He busted out laughing. He said, what is this? Shiva was Lord Shiva he's the best of all the devotees. Vaishnava Vanam Yata Sambhu. Shiva just ignored, he tolerated. But Parvati, the consort of Lord Shiva, couldn't take it. You can't be disrespectful to my husband like this. And she caused him to become a demon. Again, that reflects and gives us a red signal of how we should be careful when we're dealing with devotees of the Lord. Because it is so difficult to understand why a devotee does what he does, how he does what he does. But basically, the requirement is that we live a standard where
people will not raise doubts,
so that they don't commit offenses. And so in the purport here, Richard Surah has prayed to the Lord, and Prabhupada gives that reference here. And it completely, like, doesn't want to do anything with the happiness of this material world. So he is mentioned, the Dhruva Loka, there are so many facilities for sense enjoyment. And the Brahma Loka, intelligence, Brahma Loka, see, our material bodies are dominated by the earth element. And Brahma Loka, the domination factor is intelligence. So people in Brahma Loka, you're super intelligent. And when you talk about beauty, oh my God. You go to Swaga Loka, then you see real beauty. Beauty that is not, that does not deteriorate. They remain young and enjoy their lives until when they want to quit the body, they just quit the body. Yet, Vritta Sura mentions, I don't want to go there. Where does he want to go? He wants to go to Krishna Loka. Where even the gems, Chintamani Prakara Sadmasu, Kalpa Vriksha, Lakshavritesu, Surabi, Abhiparayantam, the cows, the pebbles, the stones. You see, in Florida, there was this escalator. I mean, this lift. One big firm. They constructed this lift in a very big organization. But the lift was so slow. Beautiful, but so slow. So what did they do? They made some adjustments. They put some mirror, so that people don't get bored, when they're in the lift. Yeah? And so, when you go into the lift, the other aspect whereby the lift is slow, I mean, it becomes like, nothing to do with you, because, there in the mirror, you are looking at your body and looking at how beautiful you are, how handsome you are, and all this stuff. So, you don't care about the time that is wasted. So we like mirrors. We like mirrors, isn't it? You have mirror in your house? In the bathroom? Yeah. I know my friend's place in Boston. The bathroom is bigger than a room. And then when you're in the bath, you can watch the TV. It's a big TV also there. Okay. And when you're in the bathroom, the music is playing. The music is playing. So I told him, hey, look, if I'm going to the bathroom, you switch off that your music, okay? This is the way to kill time in the material world. So that we don't ever remember the burden, the heavy burden we have to pass through. So Vitasura said he indicated in his prayers he was not interested in all of these facilities in the material world. In the heavenly planets, the women are so beautiful. And every man in this world, now I'm not studied all men, so if I say everyone, every man could be an assumption. Oh, more than a few men on this planet or many men on this planet, they're looking for beautiful women as companions. Okay, which of the men amongst here will say, I'm looking for an ugly woman to be my companion? I don't think so. Because you have a social prestige by, hanging out with a very beautiful woman, intelligent, beautiful woman. The women also, they have that social prestige. When they're hanging out with intelligent, handsome man, it gives them that type of psychological satisfaction. But then the point is, with time, everything fades away. Even the beauty fades away with time. And this world is characterized by kunta, miseries. There is kunta and there is vaikunta. Vaikunta is the spiritual world where we have the dominating the presiding deity is Vishnu. Those who attain perfection and go to a Vaikunta lok, they have different features. You can have the same bodily feature like the Lord. 4 arms. But you know what? The pure devotees of Lord Krishna, they don't even want to go to Vaikunta. It's a place, eternity, full of knowledge and bliss. But it's a different rasa. So the devotees of the Lord, they don't really want to go there. And the whole concept or the whole idea of devotional practice is to create or to enable a situation where we will be able to attain that perfection of going back to be with Lord Krishna, like it's mentioned in the purport, where we have a vision, rub our bodies with the residence of Vrindavan. And that type of environment, that type of atmosphere is completely free from the effects of old age, disease, and death. We're born, and our parents seem to be happy, but when the diseases come, the parents are sad, and they sometimes even want to reject you. Now, who amongst you has been really sick for a number of years and your parents are very happy that they gave birth to you? They want to do away with you. Oh, yeah. But in the spiritual world, the question of disease is completely erased. It's not there at all. So sometimes people think, well, this devotional service, what is the practical thing I'm going to gain from it? You're going to school, you are just suffering. You're going to college, say you're pursuing a degree program, or you're pursuing, a doctorate degree. It's just hellish. Why are you doing that? You're preparing for the future, so that when you finish, you don't have to work too hard. You have time for yourself. So the person who is not very intelligent may be thinking, well, I don't need to suffer myself to go to school. Good for you. You don't want to suffer yourself to go to school, but you are hoping to have sex. And you think it's free. Okay, good. It might look like it's free in the beginning. But as soon as you have a child with a woman, you are indebted for 18 years. 18 years. And therefore, my common advice to people is that, people, we should be practical. Yes, devotional service is very good, but we should be practical. Integration, I know it's very difficult to integrate. But it's better to do the difficult thing than to go for the cheap thing, and the cheap thing is not really easy in the long end, in the long run. So because this is a world where we misidentify with so many things, there are a lot of distractions. Even in our devotional service, we have so many distractions. Yeah, there could be distractions, but we should have a focus, not to be deviated by the distractions. An intelligent person should use even the distractions for growth and not just to succumb to it. So a devotee is not really very satisfied in whatever position you put him. If you like giving the position to change Trump, you're not going to be happy. It's only less intelligent people who are looking for big material positions in this material world without having to integrate a spiritual culture in their lives. Because you find that they're not happy either. A life, no matter what type of high-profile position you have attained in life, once your life is devoid of Christian consciousness, you're not going to be happy. And I can give you vivid examples of so many people I have met. I know some of my friends, they have 2 PhDs. They're not happy. That's wrong in going to get a PhD. But if you don't have that the fulcrum of spiritual culture, your life is empty. It's just data. And data don't create happiness. And therefore, here in this text, emphasis is given. Why the devotee needs to go back to the spiritual world. Even Prahlad, in the beginning, he was making these prayers. I just want to come back to associate with you in the spiritual world. But at some point in time, as Prahlad became more advanced in his devotional culture, he made a reverse prayers. He said, I don't care about coming to the spiritual world. I don't care. I just want to be a devotee. And wherever you want to place me, I'm satisfied with it. But let me be in the association of devotees always. So initially, this is the point. Initially, we should be desiring to get out from the prison of this material incarceration, dominated over the way we overwhelmed by the effects of the modes of material nature. We can't imitate Prahlad right from the beginning and say, well, I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to be here, I mean, it's like, sometimes some people, they want to make prayers like Mother Kunti. Hey, Christian, just give me all of the miseries. Just give me all of the miseries. And by giving me the miseries, I'll be able to remember you. And my common advice is don't try to artificially become a Mother Kunti. One boy in Delhi, he told me when he was doing his undergrad studies. So he was leading a group of students, and they were to go for a yatra, I think to maybe Mayapur or Jagannath Puri or something like that. And he was just not interested in going. And he went to the deities. He went to the temple and prayed to the deities. This is Radha Parthasati. That, my Lord, I don't want to go to this yatra. And all the students, what am I going to tell them? Please, you do something about it. And you know what happened? Then I think a day or two later, he had a terrible accident. Where everybody, all the students, they realized, no, he cannot go. He cannot go anywhere. He told me this, and I warned him, look, don't play with your life. Don't play with prayers. If you go to make some prayers before the altar, you are actually talking to Krishna directly. And it's so easy for Krishna to give you the bad thing. The good thing, he will preserve it. You're looking for, pure love of God, pure devotional service. He doesn't give that so easily. But you go to make some prayers. Give me this trouble, give me that trouble. Okay. If you're looking for a good wife, it might take some time. You're looking for a good husband, it might take some time. And sometimes, the funny thing in New York, the sophisticated part of New York, is that, these ladies, they're high profile ladies, but they are looking for people people who are earning like, $1 million, $1 million or $500,000 per annum. But if you keep having that type of high aim is no sin. There's no crime in having high aim. But the high aim should be backed up with some, practical ideals. You want to buy a limousine and you don't have a cent in your savings. You don't have a dime in your savings. You want to buy a limousine. How does that work? So to go back to the spiritual world, Krishna Loka is a very good aspiration. But what are we doing towards that? We just wish. If we just wish and not really doing something to enhance strong sadhana, it becomes a wishful thinking. And so, we have to see that we are focusing on the ultimate goal. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that, the few people who are living in the temple are the only people who have to do that. Bhaktivinoda was not living in the temple. He had about a dozen children. He was the justice. And he was the president of Puri temple. Look at the integration that was going on in his own life. So we have all the practical examples to give, the lived experiences of acharyas to be able to relate to foster an expedited devotional evolution. So we don't say something now, it's like, but where is the example for this? Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it was not 5,000 years ago. We may say, but he's a special soul. But who knows? You may be a special soul too. The tendency is, that person is special. Then we become like, the Christians who say, Jesus is special. He can do this, he can do that. I'll go on with my sinful activities because, I can't really do anything. I just have to depend on him because he will save me. There's need for us to make some efforts. When Krishna was being tied by Mother Yasoda, there was always a lapse, about 2 fingers of the rope that couldn't really match up. And Vishnu Chakravarti explained that basically, the interpretation of Vishnu Chakravarti was that basically gives us some insight that we need our efforts, our input is required, but we also need the mercy of the Lord and the mercy of the pure devotees. So we don't sit back and say, Krishna, Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, look, I really want to go back to Krishna Loka. And we don't want to wake up to chant. So it becomes wishful thinking. And you see, the devotional service, let us admit, it is not easy. It's tough. But when we are coming together to motivate each other, it becomes, really practical for us to move ahead despite the challenges. So, we should, in the initial spiritual cultivation, we should desire to leave this prison. That's the point. Like Vritrasura, like Prahlad. When we become very advanced, we may not have a desire to leave the prison. We may just pray to Krishna. Well, wherever I want to place me is all right. It doesn't mean that we're not going to be serious in your devotional service. It is when you become purely, intensely purified that you may not have that desire even to go back to Krishna Loka, that you want Krishna to use you in whatever way, wherever he wants you to be. But initial stage, we should desire to get out from this prison through devotional practice. Any comments or questions? I'm sorry for coming a little bit late. I got back home yesterday pretty late, and then I got so many things to deal with. So, and I live far away in Queens. So coming here is like a very big austerity. But I wanted to come and have your association, so that's why I came. All right. In the absence of any comments or questions, I think the Pujari is ready for opening the altar. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Vishnu Partner, Shri Shimati's Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Swami Shiva Prabhupada. Shiva Bhakti Stanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sri Gaur Bhakti Ki. Shri Radha Krishna Gurnath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Shri Govardhan Ki. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki. Shri New York City Dham Ki. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi